Hi guys, welcome. My name is Victoria Walker and welcome to my channel. If you are new, please subscribe. You're going to learn all things to do with womanhood, femininity, and just how to rock your world as a woman in 2020. Okay? So, I am going to be doing my makeup with you. Now, just for the record, I am not a makeup artist, but I get ready every day, so I'm going to do my makeup with you guys. So yeah, let's just get into it. And today's video is titled 25 Things I Wish I Was Told When I Was 25. And I'm going to do this over a series, so we'll get through some things and we'll do some things in another video. But this is the first video, and I really want to talk about 25 things I wish somebody would have told me as a young woman that nobody told me. And I think that a lot of young women in today's society are very misguided because they don't have that wisdom from other people who have been where they've been or have gone through certain things and overcome them, or look back and wish they would have done things different. So I'm here. I'm like talking to my younger self. Like, I'm my future self talking to my younger self. And I really want to share some of this wisdom because I believe if you make the right choices in your life, you're going to get the best results out of your life. And everybody wants to live a good life. Like, we're not here for long. Like, we're just here on this big lump of rock floating around the galaxy. And there's so much things to enjoy and experience and go through in life. And we want to create more pleasurable experiences than negative ones. And I really believe we have the power to do that. Like, it's all about choice. So this video is really going to be about helping people make better choices or learning some of the things that I wish I would have done different. So first and foremost, the first thing that I would always say, and this is one of the things that I wish I would have really kind of taken a bit more serious, was my education. And I think for women and for young women particularly, like, you need an education. Now, it doesn't have to be formal education, but learning something or being an expert in a particular field or having a skill set that, allows you to basically give you options. It just can give you options to travel, work abroad, get the kind of jobs you want, work in the field that you want. Your education really does help. And I think going to university and college is so important because this is where you kind of mingle and meet people who may be quite important as you move forward in your career and you're kind of moving up in society as you grow and you get older. So I definitely really do encourage that you stay in education, not just for the learning piece, but also for the social aspect, where you're going to meet people who could be your future husband or could be someone you start a business with. Like, these kind of times are very important. Now, second to that, I also think that whilst education is like probably one of the most important things a woman can give herself, it's about applying that education and making sure that you're educating yourself in a field or a space that actually means something to you. Because there is so many people that, like, they go to college, they go to university, they never really had a chance to try out things that they, like. So they don't really know what they want to do. And so they end up going to college or uni doing something that's so kind of not in alignment with them, doesn't really bring them joy. And then you end up figuring out that actually this is not what I want to do. Now, that's not a bad thing in itself. It's good to try new things. But education can come in the form of learning from other people. It can even be self-taught. You can learn things yourself, like, this platform, YouTube, that I'm recording on. There's so many things you can learn. So I do encourage you, like, if you are like really trying to figure out where you want to go and you want to learn something, I'd always say follow what you're passionate about, follow what you're interested in, and really don't think about the money aspect of it straight away. That is important, and yes, you want a career that pays well. But what I will tell you this, and this is what I would wish I would have told my younger self, is that if you do something that you love and that you're passionate about and that you're good at, then it's not really work. And thankfully, I was able to like do this in my life, and I kind of live my life by this motto. Like my work has to be fun. Like if it's not fun, I'm not interested. I don't do it. I get someone else to do it. Because when you do things that aren't necessarily something you enjoy or like or passionate about, it drains you. It literally drains the life out of you. And no one got time for that. I ain't got time to be drained. I'm trying to live my best life, you know? So I'm not going to be doing things or working in jobs or spaces that drain me. And I know sometimes circumstance it has it so that you may have to do that, but you always have to remember it should be a temporary period, and it should be moving or leading you on to what you really actually want to do. Problem is, there's a lot of people don't know what that is, and that's okay when you're young. That's why you're meant to try many, many, many different things, like a lot of different things. So you can actually figure out what it is that you like and what you enjoy. Like, biggest thing when you start to properly adult, like you're going to have to pay bills, and you're going to have to potentially, be a parent or get married, or, you're going to have responsibilities. And there's nothing worse than having loads of like life responsibilities and having to like do a job or a career that just doesn't fit your needs. And I know a lot of people have to do that. And, I know it's not easy because I've been there myself. But what I do know is that if you really, really, really do want to find something that, or do something, or make money doing something that you love, you just have to be good at it, develop your skill and your talent, and then show it with the world. Like, share your gift, share it with the world. Second point, that I wish somebody would have told me when I was younger, which is really, 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 like, don't date guys who cannot offer you anything at all. Like, don't do it. Like, I'm not saying don't have boyfriends, and I'm not saying, don't get to know men or of the opposite sex, but I'm saying, like, do not commit yourself or tie yourself down to somebody who just has nothing to offer you. And what I mean by nothing to offer you, if that person cannot put you in a home, if that person cannot feed and clothe you, and they want you to be their woman, or want you to carry their child, or want you to be their wife, just don't do it. Like, just don't do it. Because it's so easy when we're young to fall in love with the idea of being in love, and fall into the fantasy of where that love may take us. But at the end of the day, we're human beings. The person that you love today could be your enemy tomorrow, because people do change and love changes. So I really, really encourage you to like grow up a little bit. Don't tie yourself down to anything or anyone. Not until you know that that's exactly what you want, because there is so many options, and there's so much things, there's so much choices, and you don't need to limit yourself. Far too many people limit themselves to what they have, and their immediate kind of opportunities in front of them, whereas like there is a bigger world. There's so much more out there that you just haven't explored. And whilst you're young, you should be exploring those things, not tying yourself down. You should be traveling, you should be making new friends, trying new jobs, trying new careers, trying new passions and hobbies, and different things to get a sense of what you want. I mean, date, like, have a few boyfriends, but don't necessarily tie yourself down very young. And this is why your education and those things are important. That's the sort of stuff you should be tying yourself down to. The third thing that I wish somebody would have told me, but they didn't need to tell me because I just did it anyway. But don't be afraid to be a social climber. I pretty much social climbed throughout my entire 20s. I just made sure this was the space I wanted to be in, and I found a way to get in. And why I say social climbing is like really, really, really important is because you need to move in circles beyond what you know to get to like another level in life. Like, you can't just stay, well, you can, but it's no fun just staying in the same space. Like, when you expand, and especially if you're like, oh, you know, I want to be a millionaire when I'm 30, or, you know, I want to buy property, or, you know, you want to do things that maybe people around you are not doing or haven't done. So you need to surround yourself in circles, get to my concealer, in circles where people who you aspire to be are. Like, you know, this is like one of the number one thing. And as women, as ladies, young ladies or old ladies, whatever you are, whatever age you are, do not be afraid to social climb. Like, do not be afraid to move and mix in like circles that are maybe not familiar or comfortable to you. Because these are the circles that will stretch you. They will take you beyond what you already know, and they will take you to places where maybe if you just stayed in the same circle amongst the same people, you're probably not really going to go as far in life than if you literally were socializing and, you know, being amongst different circles. So do not be afraid to social climb. And as I said, this was something I did, and I had no shame in it, like, because it brought me so much, especially in my career. I got so much opportunities. I literally like did my entire career and built my entire career through social climbing, and it was like who I knew, my connections and my network and things like that became very valuable to me. And I was able to actually build a really successful consulting career. I traveled the world. I got to work with presidents. I got to do so much stuff, like just so much. And, you know, that was because I wasn't afraid of social climbing, even though my background, where I came from, were not necessarily of the same ilk or even from the same culture or the same country. I didn't care. I was sitting on that table and I was fine sitting at that table. I knew I had something to offer because I did my educational piece and I built a lot of skills and knowledge and connections, which became valuable, and it helped me with my career and my social climbing. So to my younger self, I would say, make sure you do more of it. And I would advise you ladies, you know, don't be afraid to social climb, like, you know, meet other people. My fourth thing that I'm going to share with you guys is, if you're going to date an older man, like I dated older guys when I was younger, and I actually prefer older men. I just prefer maturity because I've been quite a mature person. But if you are going to date an older man, like, remember you're young, and do not think because he's older, he's wiser, and don't let him take advantage. So if he's older and he wants to access your youth, he's going to have to like give you something valuable: house, car, rent paid, money, clothes, phone. But like, don't let these older guys use your naivety, or is that a word? Use your naivety. I don't think that's a word. But don't be naive, basically. Don't be naive and let older men take advantage of you. Because they will. They will. If they know that you're just impressed because he's talking to you because he's got a car and he owns a house and a good job, don't be impressed just by that. Like, he needs to impress you with money. And yeah, like, I would advise anybody, if you're gonna date an older guy, don't be impressed by him. You know, what you should be impressed by is what he's doing for you to make your life better and your life easier. And if he's not doing any of them things, boy, bye. That's all I got to say on that matter. Okay, next. Let me get my notes because I have to write some notes on this. Oh, learn how to dress for different occasions, girls. Some of you ladies, when you're going places, I'm just like, really? Baby girl. Oh, should I prime my lids? I think I want to, actually. Baby girl, like, there's just different dress senses and dress attire for different occasions, and you need to know the difference, because if you're going to be like social climbing and going into like different environments and, you know, different spaces, how you dress says everything about you. And the quality of your clothes you're wearing, the colors, the style, all matter. And people will be judging you on your attire. So if you're showing up in clothing that is maybe too tight, too revealing. And I'm not saying like, don't wear revealing clothes. I'm saying wear them appropriate to the occasion. For example, like me and my business partner, the Queen Esther Secret, we do polo event. And this is polo. So this is like, it's a bit of an uppity space, but some of these people that would show up in heels, bear in mind, we're like playing polo in a field, in short skirts and, just random outfits. And, it's, they didn't know any different. So I'm not really judging. But what I'm saying is that they didn't dress for the occasion and they really stood out, and it was a little bit embarrassing for them because they just looked odd in the environment, and you just don't want to be that person, right? When you show up, how you dress is how you want to be addressed. So you want to show up like, wow, who is that? Like, you want to turn heads, and you do that not by actually being so overt, again, depending on where you're going, but a little bit subtle and being able to kind of show your class, your style, your sense of style. And this is what attracts people, particularly men as well. Like, especially if you're trying to date up and date a man with high educational background, date a man with money, date a man with a good career, he's always thinking about how his woman or wife looks on his arm, especially in relation to his peers. So if you're coming out with like some hoochie styled Fashion Nova, no disrespect to Fashion Nova outfits, there's a place and time for them. But if you're showing up to like a work event or a Christmas party in some clingy Fashion Nova dress, like, you might not make the best impression. Like, and everything is about first, and like everything is, people judge you on the impression that they have of you. So you've got to make your best impression. Then honestly, how you do that is by how you dress. I've made so many errors, like even like in business, for me, I would have definitely leveled up the quality of the clothing that you wear. Because if you go into a business meeting and you're wearing, I don't know, a neck suit compared to maybe like something from maybe a higher end store or even a designer suit, trust me, you're gonna get like more clout and more credibility and more like opportunity, because people like want to work with successful people. So even if you're not successful, just dress like you are, really important. Okay, next thing that I wish I would have told my younger self is, if your family is dysfunctional, save up money and get the hell out. Like, if your family's unsupportive or dysfunctional in any way, like, being in a toxic environment is more damaging to your health than anything. Like, being in anything toxic, relationship, job, anything that causes stress in your body. Because what people don't understand is that stress is actually a biological reaction to a hormone going into your body. And too much of that hormone in your body makes you sick. It can cause cancer. It's been proven to cause cancer and all kind of chronic illnesses. So it's so important for your health and well-being that you basically do not permanently stay or normalize toxic behavior in relationships. It's just not healthy. And I think as you get older, you will start to understand the difference between normal and healthy behavior and toxic behavior. And I will be doing some videos on that for those of you who are like watching and you're not really sure about how people should be dealing with you, or you've not really been exposed to that kind of information. So that's really important. And I think having a dysfunctional family is like, there's no shame in it. There's a lot of us that have been there, and there's a lot of us that have gone. Even I had a bit of a dysfunctional upbringing, but one thing you can do is, once you get older, you can leave. Like, you don't have to stay there, and you don't have to tolerate abuse. You don't have to tolerate the whole dysfunctionality of the situation. You do deserve more and you deserve better. So, don't stay in a place that is just not good for you. And I say that for anything, whether it's a toxic relationship, family household, a job, a career, a boss, or whatever. If you can't communicate with the people that you love, or they're not listening, or they're not trying to like make things better or whatever, then clearly they don't really respect you or your opinions or your needs, and that's okay. Not everybody's gonna do that. You know, that's life. But what you can do is you can respect you and take yourself out of that situation. Like, you know, that's my advice to you. Okay, so I'm gonna leave the rest of my things I wish I told my younger self for my next video. I know I'm kind of like half complete on, on my makeup, but guys, so that was my 25 things. Well, it wasn't actually the full 25, but that was part one of 25 things I wish I would have told my younger self. And I really do hope you like it. Please do like, comment, share. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do that as well. And thank you so much for joining. And until next time.